If you don't read, you're voluntarily choosing to live a smaller life than you have to. That might sound dramatic, but think about this. What if I told you reading just 20 minutes a day could completely change the way you think within just a year? Let me explain. People spend 10, 20, sometimes 30 years figuring something out. They fail, they experiment, they lose money, they refine their thinking, and then they compress all of that into just a few hundred pages. We can download decades of information and experiences into our brain within just a few hours. This is unfair leverage, and most people ignore it. When you read a business book, it's not just information, it's mentorship. It's like sitting across from someone who's already built what you're trying to build. You get their mistakes, you get their framework, you get their mindset without paying them, without knowing them, without any physical access to them. I think that's powerful. But here's what reading really does. It changes the way you think. You stop being narrow-minded. You stop reacting emotionally. You start seeing multiple perspectives. You become harder to manipulate, harder to fool, harder to limit, because your mind expands. And most people never train their minds. Now let's make this practical. Read just 10 pages a day. That's just 15 to 20 minutes of your 16 waking hours. That equates to 12 books yearly. Most people don't even read one. And if 10 pages becomes easy, increase it. It's like progressive overload in the gym. Now you're at 20 plus books a year. Do you really think you're going to think same as someone who doesn't read at all? We're building intellectual muscle. You could watch podcasts, you could scroll on YouTube, but reading is different. There's no music, there's no fast cuts, no quick dopamine. It requires effort. And because it requires effort, it builds focus, it builds patience, it builds calm. It's almost like meditation, but with direction. And when you finish reading, it feels earned, not stimulated, but earned. Now, I'm mainly talking about non-fiction books because here's the mistake people make. They read, they highlight, they feel productive, and then they change nothing. Information without action is just entertainment. If you don't apply what you learn, nothing improves. Whether you get this information from books, YouTube, or whatever, if you don't implement it into your life, nothing changes. When I read, I try and take notes, not quotes, but actions. How can I change this paragraph into an actionable step I can apply into my life? Because nothing changes if we don't change. So, if you don't read, start small. 10 pages, no excuses. In 1 year, you won't recognize how you think. And thinking differently is how you build a different life. If this video helped you, subscribe.